Fabienne et Laurence from the Muséum national d'histoire naturelle, Paris.
So, hi everybody. Let me introduce you my colleague Laurence Isnard. She's a curator at the Mankind Museum, and I will be. I am a. Sorry, the stress. I am associate professor in museology, and I teach museology at the National Museum of Natural History in Paris. So it's a pleasure for me to present you this history of the museum, because it's a long history, but it will be short for this presentation. So you can see on this slide that the museum is a place located in Paris. There are 3 places in Paris for the National Museum of Natural History. One is called the Jardin des Plantes in the center of Paris. There's also the Mankind Museum, and also the Zoo Park, which is a big zoo park in Paris. But also in the region, we have different spots and different places which belongs to the Natural History Museum. Just a very quick history. The history of the National Museum started during the 17th century. At that time, it was the Royal Garden, and it was dedicated to medical studies and research. But progressively, the museum, the Royal Garden, was more involved in natural history research. And in 1793, with the French Revolution, the garden became the Museum of Natural History. Today, the museum is one of the most famous natural history museum institutions. It's a public institution under the dual supervision of the Ministry of Higher Education and Research and the Ministry of Ecology and Sustainable Development. It contributes to the knowledge and conservation of biodiversity through research dedicated to the study of biodiversity, evolution, and the relation between man and nature. We have also higher education and training, conservation of reference collections, 60 million specimens, and we have also outreach activities in galleries, botanical and zoological gardens. The museum is, there are 7 departments organized in research department, 7 research departments, and we have also 3 dissemination departments. So more than, 1,880 people work at the museum. That include gardeners also, and researchers and administrative people. And among them, 500 researchers. So research, the museum researchers have the general objective of becoming more familiar with and understanding natural diversity, past and present, and analyzing and anticipating the evolutionary dynamics in order to be able to contribute to the sustainable management in this diversity. We have also, one of our missions is to preserve and to enrich the collection. So the museum is home of one of the world's 3 largest natural history museums, with the British Museum and with the Smithsonian Institution. So we have 3 kinds of collection: non-living collection covering all areas of past and present biodiversity, humanity, terrestrial and extraterrestrial material. We have also living collection and documentary collection. Talking about dissemination of the scientific culture, so in Paris we have 3 sites of temporary and permanent exhibition, and we have more than 2 million paying visitors a year. At the Jardin des Plantes, there are in the garden site, we have 6 galleries or public spaces. One is a historical cabinet. no, sorry, yeah, the historical cabinet that you can see on one of these slides. Another one is a geology and mineralogy gallery. This is an interesting gallery because it was the first building, it was the first gallery built in France for a museum. It was built in 1840. We have also greenhouses. And we have a quite famous paleontology and comparative anatomy gallery, quite old-fashioned, and it was built in 1898. And we have also the Grande Galerie de l'Évolution. The Grande Galerie de l'Évolution was built in 1889, and it was closed in 1965. And you can see the space in it. It was completely devoted to the diversity and of zoology. And it was closed in 1965 and reopened in 1994. This was the occasion of a major renovation under the control of a group of architects named Paul Chemetov and Borja Dobro, with a scenographer named René Allieu. Sorry. So this Grande Galerie was a quite famous renovation, and I was involved in that renovation. And now we have also another site in Paris, which is the Mankind Museum site. And Laurence is going to explain you.
And the Mankind Museum is located in a very famous place near the Tour Eiffel on the Chaillot Hill. Sorry. There are three historical periods for this museum. The first one is in 1878, when Daviau built the Palais du Trocadéro for an universal exhibition. The ethnographic museum opened in 1882. The second one is in 1937, during the Front Populaire period. The Palais du Trocadéro was partially destroyed, and Jacques Carlu built a new museum called the Musée de l'Homme. Paul Rivet, anthropologist, and Georges-Henri Rivière, muséologist, and one of the founders of ICOM, were the two figures of the Musée de l'Homme. The third one is today. Since 2009, the Mankind Museum is under renovation. Olivier Brochet and Emmanuel Nebout, architects, won the international competition in 2006. Scientists, museologists, and curators work on the elaboration of the permanent exhibition and the new identity of the Mankind Museum. It should be open in 2014. Now I can speak about museography because the museological discourse is under construction, but the topics will be human history, human unity and diversity, and the relationship between human and nature.
So our contribution to the MeLa project is based on those two major renovations. I mean, the renovation of the Grande Galerie de l'Évolution and the present renovation of the Mankind Museum. Those two renovations, plus many regular visitor studies in different places of the museum, raised many questions. Among them, many of them are covered by the MeLa project. And so one of the most prominent or most important question is what means being a national modern museum of mankind or of natural history in Europe today. So this is why we are very pleased to be part of this project, and we thank you.